Ooh, okay.
We have 11 out of the 15 people go on, so. And everyone, oh, Kathy says, Rick, Ithaca freshman mom here, that would be appreciated. So, everyone should have the ability to unmute themselves and or turn on their cameras if they wish. And I'm gonna let Rick start the discussion.
Hold on, I was just answering. Well, if you guys don't know, my name's Rick Watson. I'm from the Ithaca College campus store. I get kind of asked to do this special order topic a lot because I have quite a bit of business in that. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, in the 2018, 2019, I did over 200,000 in special orders, which was about 7% of my total sales. Last year through February, we were tracking at a 32% increase over the previous year. Then obviously COVID hit and that crashed, but it still ended up, we did about 8% of our sales in special orders. This year, I have no students on campus. My store is not open yet. So we're just relying on mail orders plus whatever special orders we do. Right now, we're 31% of my sales have been special orders. So it's a lot. Is everybody doing special orders at their stores? And you guys can jump in and answer.
I have done some, not a whole lot. And I've tried to create some, but people have been waffling on them, but I have done some.
We do them all the time. We did an awful lot for the start of the school year with related to COVID stuff for a number of departments on campus.
Yeah, I actually have not even done a lot of COVID ones. I've only done one special order related to the COVID. My school actually did masks or are doing masks, but not through me.
We did 650, no, we did 800 camp chairs. So all the students could sit outside and take them under the big tent for school meetings.
Nice.
We did welcome back gift bags to the kids that had a number of things in it. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on around here.
That's great. Anybody else? No. One of the things I've also done is if in your towns, if you have a store downtown that is kind of a touristy type store, that you feel could sell some of your merchandise, I would try to partner with them if you can, because there are times that they have longer hours than you would have better parking to get to them, and then just see more traffic going by their stores. I partnered with a store down in the Commons, and we will sell them any of our Ithaca College merchandise at a 40% discount. And then they are free to sell it at the retail that we sell it at. And I don't care if she wants to mark it up. If she feels she can get more money for it, that's fine too. That's turned out to be a very good partnership for us, because I've actually parlayed that into, I'm kind of a middleman for a lot of her imprinted clothing that she gets. In Ithaca, there's a special logo that's called Ithaca is Gorgeous. And it's all over the county, the town. So it's very popular. I sell it in my store. But she gets all that merchandise from me now instead of from the local printer, because I can beat their price. So that's an idea for people if you haven't tried it yet, is to try to partner with the local store.
What merchandise did you bring her, or did she carry at first? Was it clothing or gift items? Or
yeah, it was clothing, sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, with Ithaca College merchandise to start with. And then actually, you guys are familiar with Smash Discount, like she didn't carry any charging cables. So I worked out a deal with the Smash whole display and I sold her a whole display. And then I gave her better pricing on that because we make a pretty good margin on that. So she buys all the refill items from me. And then we just got talking about other clothing that she carried in the store because I carried that Ithaca's Gorgeous logo here too. And we talked about what she was paying and I could beat her price by $2 or $3 an item. She just had to buy in a little bit more quantity. But she buys infant, youth, and adult. So she gets 3 different size graphics and she buys 144 of each graphic at a time. So it's turned out, I think so far this year, she's probably done, I think it was around $10,000 since July. I am flexible with her. So if she finds an item that doesn't sell, like that's an Ithaca College item, I will take it back and swap it. But she does buy the merchandise up front. Has anybody ever partnered with a local merchant? You guys are very quiet. You must have been on a lot of Zoom meetings.
Hi, this is Catherine at USM. Yes, we tried partnering with a little tiny bookstore in Gorham called The Bookworm.
Okay.
And we had high hopes because when we started that, we didn't have a store on that campus at all. People would have had to drive the half hour to Portland, but people just didn't walk down there. So it didn't end up working for us, but I'm still glad we tried it. I don't regret it.
Is the store still there?
Yes, the Bookworm is still there, but now
Okay.
we have partnered with a different place directly on campus to sell things. So
Okay.
it would have naturally come to an end anyway.
Right. Do they still sell your merchandise, like college merchandise?
Nope, they don't. They're very tiny. It's an adorable store, actually. But no, they primarily just have like used trade books and some local pottery and cards.
Okay. Do they sell like charging cables and things like that?
No, they don't. Not at all.
I mean, that's an idea, like that Smash Discount, that little like 6 tray countertop display. It would probably cost them, depending on how much you mark it up, maybe like $350 to $400
We
for
sell that in our store and it's been wonderful.
well, I mean, if you want, Smash will send you like a picture and a breakdown of what's in that display without a price so that you can put your own price on it.
Yep.
And you could just email it to them or whatever and just say, you know, hey, I noticed you don't sell charging cables. They're very popular with everybody because they just go bad. And the lady that I use downtown, like she bought the full display, but then she comes back to me to get all the refills for it.
Yeah. Well, I think our partnership with them is pretty much over, but
Yeah.
I'm really glad we tried it. It didn't work out in the long run, but I don't think there's any harm in trying it. So just wanted to put that out there.
Is the new one working any better?
It's run by food services, and we don't
Okay.
really have an option for us to run one over on the Gorham campus. So for what it is, it's working out. Of course, with COVID, foot traffic is down significantly, but it's sales that we would not have got otherwise.
Right.
We do have to split the sales, but it's our only option to have things directly on campus.
Well, getting some of something is obviously better than nothing. So
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the stuff I sell downtown, like I give her a 40% discount. So, I mean, she's taking most of my margin.
Yep.
But it's fine. She's bought, I think we've been dealing with her for probably like 3 years now. And she's probably doing 15 to 20,000 a year with us now. So, I mean, it's worked out well, and especially now that we're doing some of her imprinting. Is your food service outsourced?
It's run by Sodexo.
Okay. Have you ever tried to approach them about some of their marketing materials or their uniforms or anything like that?
No, they're pretty corporate. I'm not sure
Well,
that
they're
they've been
corporate,
good
but
responses.
I had Sodexo on my campus as well.
Mhm.
And they ended up buying because sometimes they like their managers and stuff to have like the collegiate license stuff instead of Sodexo.
Ah,
So there was some times that they bought polo shirts and stuff from me. But then even if they have a marketing manager, which they probably do because most of them do, they're buying promotional stuff outside of Sodexo. So sometimes you can beat their price based on our buying power.
okay.
So
Thank you.
I sold them like water bottles and just random stuff here and there. And actually one of the special orders that I did for this back to school is this, which worked good for COVID. So it's a sealed pack and it's got silverware in it so that it can cut down on their disposable silverware, but it also gives, they were planning on, if people had to be quarantined, that they would get their own pack of silverware. And then when they get their to-go lunch or to-go dinner, they didn't have to keep supplying them with silverware. They would just provide everybody with their own set and then they're responsible for washing it. So that item actually did really well. And I think Cornell also was working on a special order for those too. But I think I sold, I think around 1,000 of those. It was like a, I don't know, $6,000 order or something. So it was pretty good. Anybody else? You guys are too quiet. I know COVID has affected a lot. If you haven't tried to work with student groups on campus, I would definitely try to do that. We have a new IC Disney club that actually I've been working with over the past couple of days, trying to get them some merchandise for their board members. They're a new club. I actually found them on Instagram and that's how I knew that they were there and had their own logo. And I reached out to the president of that organization to see if there's anything that we could do to help them promote their club or get their own branded merchandise. We have some other clubs that we do quite a bit of business with, the OT club and the speech language pathology club. It works out well if you have any clubs that do clinics or have to go out into the community or to, like ours, go to retirement homes to work with patients. They're required to wear a polo shirt. So that's one of the main items that we help them get, but we do fundraiser sales for their organization. And they can do any type of clothing and we'll set that up for them so that if I sell it to them at $10, they may sell it for $15 to their members, and then they make the $5 per item. And then when the sale's over, I'll transfer all that money to them. Someone asked in the chat, how do we reach out to the student groups? I actually just will look them up and send them an email, but I have never done it here. But I do know that they do have organizational fairs for the student organizations. I mean, you could technically set up at one of those and market helping out the organizations with their fundraising needs. That's where we got started, was just with groups that needed merchandise to wear to clinics, and then it expanded from there. But like the OT club, we probably do 2 sales a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. We've actually since have been able to set those up on our website so that they can order from wherever. It also allows alumni of those organizations to order as well. But if you can probably talk to student activities and get a list of all the clubs on your campus and then reach out to them directly. That's probably the easiest, and you'll probably have your most effect on it. But oh, hold on. Someone mentioned logoed scrubs for schools with a healthcare emphasis. Are there any alumni groups that might be interested? I've worked with the alumni office before. I don't get a very good response from them. Usually alumni and athletics are hard ones to crack because they do a lot on their own. And I don't do scrubs here because the students that have clinics, they just have to wear polos or quarter zips. So that's what we do the most of, but I don't need, has anybody done the logoed scrubs? You guys are way too quiet.
Hey, Rick, we don't have scrubs or things like that, but we do partner with our alumni office quite a lot, actually.
Lucky.
As far as like, say, for instance, sea bags. That's a tote company in Maine. Everything's mailed from, you probably have all heard of it before, but when they want to give some gifts to people, they'll partner with us so that we can get a volume discount. And then, I keep a portion of, not much of the money at all, but it's great because it gives us, more clout with a company. And then when I get it, I just transfer, the bags over to them and the monies and go back and forth. But it's helped us build some good PR with the alumni office. And then they give us back things like when they do they'll ask us to do a special coupon, and then they'll give us the money back for that afterwards if we do it, for like a $5 off thank you that they give to people for working for Reunion. And so it'll be like a $5 gift certificate for the bookstore or a $5 off coupon. And then at the end of before the fiscal year ends, they'll transfer me that money for those coupons too. So it's worked out really well, and I think it's really helped us become partners. And anytime that they're going to buy something, like you say, they go through a lot of things themselves. They sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they'll ask us if we want to do it with them. So we get a better deal if they're buying a lot, or if I'm buying a lot, I ask them. So it works out well.
That's great because alumni offices are very hard to crack. Like they do a lot on their own, especially here. And I know at least here, our alumni office is very last minute. So they are very hard to get stuff without rushing it in, which of course they don't like to pay the shipping on.
We do a lot with our alumni office as well. I have a great relationship with them because I actually started in the alumni office before I took this job.
That's a good way to do it.
There's only a handful of people still in that department that I used to work with, but that's, they know that I have the connections, I have the resources to get good deals for stuff. And so they do come to me quite frequently when they're looking to do a gift to hand out for an event or for a special promotion. And when our parent programs office is part of the same department, when the students returned this fall, they contacted me about gift bags that they wanted to do at drop off to give to the parents when they drop their kids off. Kids got their own gift from another department, but this was for the parents. The parents only had a 15-minute window to drop off their child, and then they had to leave. So they gave them a consolation prize when they left. So we got them bags for that, and a couple other small things that went in the bags.
That's great. Yeah, the only time usually that the alumni office contacts me is when they want a discount and they want us to eat the margin, but they want to reap the benefits of giving it out to people. Yeah. Athletics is another one if you can get in there. It took me probably about 8 or 9 years to get into the athletic department here. It does take some time. It takes persistence. our football program's probably our biggest program sport wise. And they used to run a stand during the football games that we could never get into, even though I tried and tried since I got here. We finally did get into that after about 8 or 9 years, and we've grown that business quite a bit for them, where we're doing, 5 figures for the season, which in Division III football that doesn't draw a huge attendance is decent. In 2019, we actually hosted our big rivalry, which is Cortland University, down at MetLife Stadium. During that day, we did about 37,000 down at the stadium. It wasn't run by us, it was run by the stadium, and you had to give them 30% of your sales. But for a one-day event, it was definitely worth it. And we marked everything up more than we would normally to account for some of that margin. But alumni and athletics are probably two of the biggest purchasers on your campus. And you may have to keep trying and trying and trying, but they're definitely worth the effort if you can get into them. Anybody else have any success stories?
I want to mention something about scrubs. We do not carry imprinted scrubs. We don't have even blank scrubs right now because our store is small. But one thing that the School of Nursing on campus requires is that all nursing students purchase a patch from us. And it's a custom embroidered patch. It has School of Nursing, and it's kind of a rite of passage. The student has to sew it onto their scrubs themselves, and they often buy 4 or 5 patches. It's very inexpensive. You can mark it up quite a bit. Even if you sell it, I forget what we're selling it at. Maybe it's like $4 retail, and they'll buy a whole bunch. And it's just an easy way to make some money. And I don't know if other schools that do not require any customization like that might like it, because it's cool if your students are out working in local hospitals, because it advertises where they're going to school.
Yeah, our OT and PT and speech language students do that but they have to wear the polo shirt. So instead of a patch, we actually just get their logo embroidered on the polo. Have you tried to expand that market with your nursing students? Do you carry other nursing merchandise?
We do, and it's done fairly well. The issue is space. Our store is 700 square feet, so we really have to pick and choose things quite carefully. I would love to offer more nursing things. One thing we do is we sell vests that they can wear over their scrubs because it's cold in hospitals, but we can't really stock them in every color and every size. So we'll do pre-orders for that, like twice a year, and get them in at once, and they're all, pre-ordered and sold, so we don't have to store them anywhere.
Do they have their own club?
Yeah, they have associations and groups depending on their year of graduation, sure.
Okay, so are you a licensed school or a non-licensed school?
We are, well, you mean in terms of our logo?
Yeah.
Yep. So our Husky logo is licensed, but
Okay.
the other things are not. It's complicated.
Okay. So if you work through, you could do a fundraiser for their organization. One of the ways we do it is we figure out maybe a half a dozen different clothing items that they would be interested in. Figure out what type of logo makes sense, whether it's embroidered or imprinted, and then try to group items so like if you're doing a polo shirt and it takes a left chest embroidery, try to group items that can take that same size and that same logo on it. And if you can find a local screen printer or a company that, I don't know who your sales reps are. Do you have Ed Zakarski?
Oh, sure. Doesn't everybody
Okay.
have Ed?
Well, I mean, I use MSP a lot, and I'm not here to promote any vendor over another, but for me, MSP works very well. They will give you pricing on all the items, but they can give you a sliding scale so that if you order 24 pieces, this is your price. If you get 48 pieces, this is your price. So you can kind of give the club incentive for selling more by giving them a same sliding scale, obviously with your markup on top of it.
Yep.
But then you group all those items together, so you can embroider a quarter zip and a polo shirt with the same logo, but you could also do a sweatpant and a short with the same logo. So it allows them to have access to more items with their logo on it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and you don't have to carry any inventory. And if you can set it up online, that's better. If not, you could just do a one-page flyer. Most vendors will do the logo for you ahead of time. I used to do this all with Holloway, which was great because their embroidery minimum is only 12 pieces. Their imprint minimum is only 24, but unfortunately Holloway doesn't deal with any school that's licensed anymore. So you lose all that and everything goes through Ouray, but Ouray's minimums are way higher than Holloway's are. So then you're defaulted to a local printer. But MSP is great under pressure. I've never missed a deadline on something, so that's always a good thing. And usually they'll give you a fair price if you're mix and matching items. I'm sure there's others out there, but anybody else? Do you do anything with organizations, Robin?
No. I've been doing departmental orders lately because they're not allowed on campus. So I'm doing their ordering and shipping for them, but not organizations. So I heard something at the trade show that I thought was intriguing, but I haven't really explored or researched. But I was told that there are some schools doing subscription services, kind of like a Stitch Fix or like Blue Apron, but for store merchandise. So they're asking, and they're ordering special product just for the subscription service. So it's not something they could get otherwise, setting a dollar value. And I thought that was an intriguing idea. I didn't know if anyone else had heard that type of thing or thought about that type of thing. Of course, by next year, we're going to have Rick doing a session on it.
Yeah. If I do it, yeah.
Yeah. No, I did think it was an interesting, maybe 4 times a year type of sign up. And
So just a club with a X dollar charge and you get
yep,
whatever.
you get whatever we send you that month or that quarter or whatever, and at a certain value. So.
Sammy, I saw you unmuted. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, hi, Rick. Just wanted to know, when you were first building this program at your school, what was your average margin on apparel and general merchandise, and how has that changed kind of as you've gained relationships with these different departments and different clubs and organizations?
When I first started it, I would take 0% to build the business. And honestly, admissions, who has become one of my biggest clients and spends probably, I don't know, anywhere upwards of 60,000 a year with me. The first thing that I sold on campus was to them, and it was a water bottle. It was a plastic water bottle, the same water bottle that they had been buying. And I actually got it from 4 Imprint, which was the same vendor that they had been buying it from. The only reason I got the order instead of them doing it is because 4 Imprint sent me a coupon of 20% off. So that's how I got my first order. And then I just started working that admissions thing. And then the person that I dealt with there actually became like a campus store champion for me. And he would promote my business without me even being there. So if it's a new department, I mean, I'm willing to take it at a 0% margin or possibly even losing a little bit just to get the business. Now, since then, and I don't necessarily raise my prices, but if you're buying the same thing in the same quantity every year, a lot of times you can get a better price from your vendor, or you can just find a different vendor. I've done water bottles with them ever since. They purchase 2,000 to 3,000 water bottles a year now. And I also offer storage services and delivery services. So I will store the water bottles in my store and I will deliver them as needed. Because they're bulk buying in 2,000 to 3,000, I have not raised my price on those water bottles. However, I've acquired better pricing. So the last time they ordered 3,000 water bottles. I sold them to them at $4 and I made $5,000 on that $12,000 order. That is not the norm. And I don't do that with everybody, but because admissions doesn't go anywhere else or looks anywhere else besides me, and I haven't raised my price with them, so they have never asked for a better price. And since I've done the water bottles, I actually started with a plastic water bottle the first time. I'm into a bigger aluminum bottle with a screw on top and a carabiner that they're actually paying less for than they did that plastic bottle. Normally, when it's all said and done, if I have all my costs, like my shipping and setup, if there is any, or any of that, I'll try to make between a 10 and a 15% margin on top of that, if I can. If I cannot, I'll take what I can get to get the sale.
And Rick, do you ask them straight out if it's somebody new that you're working with on what the price is that they're looking at, so you know what you have to beat and you can adjust your margin?
If they will share it, definitely. Sometimes, and they will say that they have a better price than that, but ask them what their complete price is. Because a lot of times if it's a department that doesn't order a lot, they may be paying setup fees, they may be paying shipping, imprint charges. There's a lot of other miscellaneous things that they may be paying that we don't pay because of our volume. So if they can give you, okay, I bought 200 items and this was the total invoice price, that's what I want. I don't want a per item charge, because a lot of times the extras will be separate and not included in that cost. That makes sense?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Are you seeing the chat? Catherine said that you can
I
usually or always get a coupon for 4imprint by visiting retailme.com. Sorry.
Yeah, you might be able to. I've never tried. Since I've dealt with 4imprint and I've gotten to know one contact at 4imprint, he actually gives me an extra discount on every quote that he gives me. So I don't even look for those discount codes anymore. But that's just because I've dealt with him a lot. I've done a lot of business with them. Their website is actually great, even if you need to get an estimate of what something should cost. They have a sliding scale and you could at least get kind of a cost price on that. So either Jackie or Adriana from Oneana, if you guys can go over your gift boxes that you talked about in the chat. Is it Adriana or Jackie? Well, so in the chat, they said that they recently started shipping gift boxes for departments on campus. The Alumni Office was having a Zoom meeting and sent out snacks and face masks to the attendees, and we packed and shipped those. We also did a gift box with a custom cutting board, meats and cheeses. Markup was very minimal, but we're here to help, and it gave us something to do. Yeah, even if you're not going to make a lot, it's still worth it to build that relationship with whatever department you're working at, because hopefully it'll lead to more in the future.
Our advancement office was having difficulty getting Zoom attendees to come back from breakout rooms, I guess, or something like that. So they advertised their most recent event, online event, with a incentive opportunity, and they advertised what that incentive would be, something from our store. And then anybody who attended the Zoom meeting would have to come back from the breakout room in order to receive the incentive. The things we have to do for Zoom.
It has changed a lot. I know. So has anybody done mystery boxes? I know this is kind of not a special order topic, but has anybody done mystery boxes that they're selling in their store to try to reduce some clearance items?
Jackie chatted mystery boxes. I don't know if she's for them or if they're doing them, but
I know they've done them, but I don't know why they don't unmute and talk. I know, so we've done mystery boxes. We've only sold maybe a half a dozen of them, but we put a $49.99 price on it. We allowed them to choose their size. We've done a men's and a women's version. And then you're guaranteed at least $100 worth of merchandise. And we just kind of pick off our clearance. We got some items that we have left over that we took out of retail, so we throw some of that in there to boost up the value of it. But it's kind of a way for you to get rid of some clearance without having them choose.
have you
Put all
have you had any complaints or returns on that?
Nope, none. And we actually are selling them at no returns.
Oh. So Jackie said they sold 41 in 20 days. They can choose unisex or women's and their size, and they do the rest.
Yeah. And you can throw anything in there. I think at Oneana, which they didn't point out, is they're actually doing some of their damages as well. They keep all the slightly imperfect items that they get throughout the year from the vendors. And then they have a big sale on that and sell it cheap because they've already gotten credit for it. So they are including their slightly imperfect or slightly imperfect or slightly damaged items in theirs too.
So can I ask a silly question on this? Sorry, Robin.
No, I was just going to say, do they disclaim that they could be slightly irregular items
Yes.
that there's okay.
They do. And we're only saying that because there's no vendors on here. Because they're the ones that give you credit for it. Go ahead, Sammy.
So we've talked briefly about doing this, and this probably seems like a silly question, but it just seemed like an inventory nightmare. So for those of you that have done it, how do you handle the inventory side of that?
So what we did is we set up dummy SKUs in our system. So we have one for each size, and we have a unisex range and then a women's range. So if someone orders that on our website, it allows them to purchase that item in that size. So when we go in to process the order, we actually delete out that SKU and then scan the actual items that we're sending them. And then we just adjust the price to make it fit in the $49.99. That's how we handle it.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have that option to adjust your mail order?
I think that we do. So I'll have to run,
What system?
we have MBS.
Okay. Well, if you have a question about that, contact Oneana because they have MBS as well.
Okay, great.
I use the book log system, so we actually get a pre-approval on our web orders and then process in the store. So we're able to take out the dummy SKU for the mystery box and then add in all the SKUs for the items that we're selling. Yeah, 41 in 20 days is a lot. We've only done half a dozen, but I think Potsdam has started it. I think Cortland's done it. I don't know if they're doing it right now. So there's been a bunch of stores that have tried it. I don't know how Potsdam is done or how Cortland's done, but I mean, we just looked at it as a way to hopefully generate some extra sales and hopefully get rid of some of your clearance that you're sitting on because you have no one. Well, we have no one in the store. So usually clearance is one of those things you got to look at. So anybody else have any ideas that may not be special order, but just to generate sales either in the store or online? Oh, Oneana says Instagram posts help tons. I know they're very big on Instagram and they have a ton of followers. And they may be pushing either what Cornell has or more than Cornell has in followers on Instagram. So they do a really good job with theirs.
We partner with a local candy store, a high-end candy store, and carry a bunch of their candy in the store. Our students surprisingly buy a lot of it. But it creates nostalgia for a lot of the alumni as well. When they return for reunions and whatnot, they of course are looking for this candy. But I found out today that the candy store has our logo in chocolate, and they had done it for another project on campus that I wasn't a part of and I actually didn't know about until after it was done. But they have some left over. So we've decided that we're going to partner with them for our holiday email that goes out and use that as one of the primary items on the email as a stocking stuffer. And it's a nice little box, and they're pricing it at $17.97, which of course is our year of inception. So it's a nice little tie-in, and we'll make a wonderful stocking stuffer for our alums.
That's great. Excuse me for a second. So Oneana did say they have more followers than Cornell. And then Kathy is saying, we have taken the time to list all of our clearance online. Wow. It was worth the trouble, especially when we first launched it in the summer. So what system are you using, Kathy?
Well, we are not using one that I would recommend. We're using Sequoia's EPOS.
Okay.
We are moving to a new system in the next 6 months, but you know, there was so little foot traffic. All of our classes were online in the summer that it was like, okay, let's take the time to throw this stuff up there. Let's get photographs, list all the items, list the sizes. We even did it down to socks. And I sent an email out to our internal university list, not even just online, and said, hey, we've got a tent sale going on now. This is our clearance. And people, I mean, we probably had like, I don't know, 30 orders that day from internal USM folk. And we find that also sending our emails to the general list of the university, just saying, hey, we just sent this email out. So those people might not be subscribers, but they're subscribed to the general, like, what you call it, general populace email, PRC Southern Maine. So then that gets us extra customers. And this is all with a not so great system. It's just the fact of getting the stuff on there.
That's great. Yeah, we've listed some of our clearance online because the book log system that we have allows us to put stuff up instantly with our website, but we definitely have not listed everything on there. Anybody else?
Well, Don sent a suggestion to me. I don't know why he didn't chat it, but themed events for parents with distant learning students at home, your source for dorm away from home, or dorm, yeah. No, home away from dorm, I guess what it would be. So dorm items that you could have at home as a mystery box, maybe to turn your home bedroom into a dorm room.
We've actually had a lot of parents do that, and we've worked with them on the phone. But we haven't set up anything specific on that. But yeah, that's a great idea, because a lot of parents, I know if you guys have a parent Facebook page, I know Ithaca College does, a lot of them have posted what they've done to an additional room or the kid's bedroom, how they've set it up to look like a dorm room. One mom on our page actually has gone excited enough to create a weekly menu for their cafeteria. So she provides dining to her student as well.
Oh, you gotta love parents. I actually had a faculty member in who was buying Clark gear so she could be a Clarkie when she was Zooming her classes to make her students feel connected to campus. So that's another idea. Yeah. If you can reach out to your faculty and suggest that type of decorate their office for their Zoom background.
Anybody else? Well, I know I talk a lot about special orders. It is very time consuming. It does take a lot of time, but a lot of it is just building that relationship with a department. Then you can increase your margins as you go. Everybody knows stuff goes up almost every year. And even if it doesn't, you can kind of raise your price a little bit if you took a really low margin to start. But definitely spend some time building those relationships, because in this day and age when colleges are looking for money and outsourcing is still there, this tie to campus can keep us independent and keep us there. I know it's definitely helped here, and I'm doing 200 to 250,000 in special orders that if I was not here, those departments would have to find an outlet to get that merchandise, which means they're going to have to become their own buyers. If anybody's ever worked for Follett or Barnes and Noble, and I've worked for both, they do not like to deal on price and do special orders. They like to sell it at full retail. If they deal on price, they have a vendor that will give you a set price and that's it. So us being willing to work on pricing is definitely an advantage. It can definitely save the college money. We have more buying power than anybody on campus, so we can use that to our advantage. So that's all I have.
Well, if there are no more questions or comments, I'll say thank you to Rick once again, and thank you all for joining us. Sessions will be posted tomorrow for anyone who wants to review them. I know I missed part of this one as a parent came in and needed some personal shopping done. So I look forward to seeing what I missed. And we will hopefully see you at the end of the month for the annual meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
Thanks, Rick and Robin.